Did you know that a horse-faced alien was the first character besides Thor to be worthy enough to lift Mjolnir? Stick around and I'll give you a brief history of Beta Ray Bill, as well as reviewing the Hasbro figure released based on this character. In August 1983, issue number 337 of Thor, written by Walter Simonson, would show us Beta Ray Bill, the noble horse-faced alien worthy enough to wield Mjolnir. We would see Beta Ray Bill first introduced as an adversary to Thor. Bill would be strong enough to physically match Thor's punches. Upon being separated from his hammer for 60 seconds, Thor would revert to a mortal form. Bill would then pick up the hammer and be endowed with all of Thor's abilities. The king of Asgard, Odin, would summon Thor, now Beta Ray Bill, back to Asgard on an urgent need. Odin would be confused and surprised at Bill's appearance and would even launch an attack. After summoning the true Thor, they would settle the matter and give Bill the chance to explain his story. Bill is the sole protector of his people. Having been chosen to protect them, he underwent a voluntary transformation by his people's scientists to become the horse-faced alien that would end up facing down Thor. While leading his people, they were attacked by demons, and Bill attacked Thor, believing that Thor was involved as well. Bill intended to keep Mjolnir as he would be able to better help his people with it, but of course, Thor would object. Odin commanded the two warriors to battle to the death to determine who would be the final true wielder of Mjolnir. Bill bested Thor for a second time, but refused to kill Thor. Odin would have a new hammer created especially for Bill by the dwarf Atri. Infused and enchanted by Odin's own magics, Stormbreaker would be born. Stormbreaker would have all of the same ability as Mjolnir, yet Odin would give it an extra enchantment that would give Beta Ray Bill the ability to return to his form back to the way he appeared before his transformation. Beta Ray Bill would go on to be an ally to Thor and many others. Bill would be a part of the Thor Corps, a group consisting of Thor and a Thor from the future. Additionally, he would join the Guardians of the Galaxy for a short while. He would star in a few solo miniseries, but has not had an ongoing series of his own. Beta Ray Bill has yet to make a full appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, we do see a horse face very briefly that looks very much like Beta Ray Bill in Thor Ragnarok. Additionally, in Avengers Infinity War, Thor creates a new hammer that is also created by Atri and is named Stormbreaker. It even maintains the bladed side of the hammer like the version we see in the comics. If you like horse-faced heroes, then give me a thumbs up. If you don't, then that's okay, but stick around for the review. Marvel Legends Beta Ray Bill. Got some side art, same art on both sides. Looks like the character as seen in the comic books. This is the modern version of his costume design. This is part of the Hulk Build-A-Figure wave, 6 figures, and then a 7th figure that is not part of BAF or Build-A-Figure. Let's get it open. Couple of Hulk heads, grinning one and a straight-faced one. Then we have Beta Ray himself. So I think this is great. He looks very, very good. You'll see that parts of this are standard kind of parts that are used in other figures. If you're not already aware, Hasbro and other companies will use the same mold as much as possible, reuse them to keep their costs low. We can see that's true with these legs. These legs are very standard. We've seen them in other characters before of similar builds. But what is new are going to be the hands. The hands are new. The wristbands are new. Shoulders are new. This chest piece is new. The pelvic area has to be new because of the discs and the hips. And the head is definitely 100% new. It's a great looking head. And it looks like it has a little bit of movement, which is awesome. I was not expecting that at all. The head is interesting because anytime Hasbro makes a new mold, they do obviously want to try to get as much use out of it as possible. But there's literally the one horse-faced character that I'm aware of, at least, that looks like this. So I suspect they'll probably end up making another version of Beta Ray Bill, one that looks closer to his classic appearance, and then they'll have the head ready to go for that. Otherwise, the cape is pretty standard affair. I like that it drapes down in the middle. It's a nice big cape. Like I've said in previous videos, it is nice that it's kind of soft. It's softer than earlier capes were. They're a little bit tougher to move around. So the hands are 4-fingered hands because Bill is obviously not an actual human. And then what's cool is the actual color of the skin and the details in there. It's really cool because it's not just one shade, and it's got a lot of dark parts to show, I guess, additional just detail to the character, which is really nice. One of the problems are these shoulder pads. They look fantastic, but they get in the way of posability and movement. Cape is kind of standard cape as well with more recent stuff. So instead of it being just a peg, but is also just fully attached right on the shoulders. On this particular one, the QC isn't so perfect, as you can kind of see that line right there, which is not supposed to be there. That's definitely not part of the character design or anything like that. Just is what it is. But I think overall the paint apps are pretty solid. I think, you know, they also kind of lucked out since more than half of the main body is all black anyway, so that keeps it pretty simple for them. But it still looks good. We got some soft plastic for the ears of the helmet, which is nice. But I think I'm still really impressed by having the hinge on the jaw. I think that's awesome. So the original Stormbreaker does look a fair amount different. It's smaller. It's much more like a hammer than this version. I'm unsure with this one if they updated it to look more like the movie version, because the original is much smaller, much more like a hammer. But this does look great, just from an aesthetic standpoint and in terms of accuracy. This is a really good looking hammer. Hasbro doesn't have any other releases of this character as far as I'm aware, so there's not a lot else to compare it to, but we can compare it to... So here we have Better Ray Bill standing next to the 80th anniversary release of Thor. Thor appears to be just a little bit taller, but that might just be because his helmet makes him just a hair taller. What did you think of Better Ray Bill? Do you think he'll be in the next Thor movie? Drop a comment below and let me know. If you're interested in having further discussions about Marvel Legends, then head on over to the MLC Facebook group. Link below.